Meanwhile, major protests were witnessed in various South Rift counties, with protesters now turning their guns on county governments and governors. In Nakuru, 3 people were injured during the protests, among them Kameme TV reporter Catherine Wanjeri, who was shot 3 times and is currently admitted to the Nakuru Annex Hospital. In Baringo County, the protesters were demanding the resignation of Governor Benjamin Cheboy, citing nepotism and ghost workers in the county as some of their reasons. Elsewhere in Kericho, police were clashing with a group of armed men reportedly hired by local politicians to counter the protests. Here's Ken Gashohe with that roundup.
Protests against the government resumed Tuesday morning, attention of demonstrators now shifting to county governments and county chiefs. In Nakuru City, protesters arrived on the streets intending to register their concerns with the county government of Nakuru for, among other reasons, the closure of Nakuru War Memorial Hospital.
Na Susan Keka tunakuja, War Memorial rudisha, War Memorial tumeona, rudisha War Memorial.
Kazi yao ni kutalii dunia badala ya kuwapatia huduma ambayo inatakikana, na mara mingi wanajipatia allowances mbalimbali kwa kusafiri nje na ndani.
Anti-riot police dispersed the protesters by firing in the air and lobbing tear gas at protesters. Kameme TV reporter Catherine Wanjeri, despite being away from the protesters and donning a jacket that identified her as a journalist, was seriously injured after the police shot her 3 times. She is now admitted at the Nakuru Annex Hospital.
This particular rogue officer thought it wise to focus his energies on our member, which is something that we really want to condemn. We will want a report to know that why was this journalist fired at? Someone who is covering the demonstration, someone who can be identified, someone who is carrying her tools of trade. We want to know, was she a goon? Was she breaking into any building? If she was, let that building be identified.
We're going to work closely with the relevant agencies to ensure that the law has been followed. 2
other people were also injured, among them this man who was shot in the head. The police also invaded this church where a service was underway. Similar protests were witnessed in Baringo County, where protesters stormed the county government offices, demanding the resignation of Governor Benjamin Cheboy. Some of their grievances included nepotism in the county jobs and high number of ghost workers in its payroll. Besides these 2, they also protested poor utilization of funds. The protesters invaded the offices before they were evicted by the police, who escorted the governor out under tight security. And in Kericho County, protesters clashed with a group of armed men who are said to have been hired by local politicians to counter the demonstrations. The protesters, who march along the streets of Kericho town, accused the county government of poor performance despite receiving billions for development.
Sisi nia yetu tulikuwa tunataka tumwambie gavana wetu, hii mambo ya barabara ambayo imeharibika town hii, hiyo ndio ilikuwa agenda yetu ya kukuja kukuambia ile kazi ambayo ulikuwa unafaa kufanya ndio utusaidie.
Ken Gashohe, KTN News.
Let's turn our focus